I'm America's Digital Pro, Kim Commando, and welcome to Tech News This Week. It's our podcast that gives you the top stories, the scams, the security alerts, and the crazy happenings in the tech world. We'll get started in just a moment, but first, we'd like to thank our partners who help make these podcasts possible. Hey, coming up in Tech News this week, we're going to talk about an amazing breakthrough in the medical field. Plus, why are some people having, I know it sounds crazy, but violent reactions to self-driving cars?
There's news you need to know about how biometrics might not be as secure as you think.
And later on, I have several ways that you can keep up with your family and friends during vacations or emergencies. All that and much more is coming up in Tech News this week from Commando.com.
We start with an amazing breakthrough in the medical field. There was a patient in Bulgaria that was recently diagnosed with a rib deformation. His doctors were worried that the deformity may progress into a life-threatening situation, so they decided they needed a rib implant. And as you might expect, that is an extremely expensive procedure. One reason is traditional implants are made from titanium, which is very expensive. So they turned to technology. And get this, the man ended up getting a rib made by a 3D printer. Some of you might even guess that while we were doing the story. It was created with an FDA-approved material, and it's actually considered by doctors to be a better fit for a rib replacement than titanium. Not only that, but it cost just a little over, get this, $100 to make. Yes, I said $100, not $100,000. This is a huge deal. Researchers in the United States have been working on ways to mend broken bones using 3D printing, along with adult stem cells. Now, once perfected, this technology could be used to help military veterans who get hurt during combat. And now that there's been a successful 3D rib replacement, we should expect to see more hospitals doing this around the world. It's another way that technology makes a huge difference in people's lives.
If you have an iPhone, you're probably familiar with Find My iPhone, the easy way to find your phone when it slips between the couch cushions. But it's also useful when your car has been jacked. What would you do if you're in your car and suddenly there's a man with a gun banging on your window and screaming at you to get out? That recently happened in Nashville, but as the victim was getting out of his car, he stealthily hid his iPhone in the car center console. After the bad guy drove away, he called the police, logged into his iCloud account, and found his iPhone's location in real time, watching it move throughout the city. The police brought in their helicopters, tracked down the car, and made an arrest. From start to finish, this all happened in less than an hour. So as it turns out, if you need to stop a carjacker, there's an app for that too.
Oh, we've been hearing for years that biometrics are more secure than typical passwords, and that's why most smartphones released in the past couple of years let you use your fingerprint instead of a passcode to unlock them. But there might be a huge problem with the entire biometric system. Listen to this. Researchers from New York University and Michigan State University have developed an artificial fingerprint that they're calling deep master prints. They act like master keys that can be used in place of actual fingerprints, and they say they have the potential to unlock around 1 in 3 fingerprint-protected smartphones. So in the wrong hands, a hacker could use this technology to break into devices and steal whatever information is on it. The problem appears to be how biometrics are set up on gadgets. Researchers said that the way fingerprints are recognized on smartphones and other devices is often problematic because many devices don't capture your entire fingerprint. There isn't enough space on those devices to hold that kind of information, so it only captures a partial fingerprint. It then stitches together several images of the fingerprint. Obviously, this technique isn't as secure as using the full image. Now, smartphones aren't the only concern, though. Some airlines are now implementing fingerprint technology to board flights and access airport lounges, so this does have a potential to become a serious problem that affects more than just smartphones.
Hey, just ahead, I know it sounds crazy. It seems like every week we're talking about a new Facebook hoax. Well, guess what? Another week, another hoax. And right now, let me tell you about one of our partners in this podcast, SimpliSafe Home Security. I love SimpliSafe. It's a fantastic security system. If a storm takes out your power, SimpliSafe is ready. If an intruder cuts your phone line, SimpliSafe is ready. Here's what I love about this. Maybe it's overkill. Maybe it's the last thing you want to think about. But with SimpliSafe, you're always ready for anything. They believe nothing should get in the way between you and protecting your family. That's why SimpliSafe doesn't cost an arm and a leg. They charge you what's fair, what's right. I recommend SimpliSafe to everyone I know. And today, you can save hundreds of dollars on that protection if you go to simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com. Make sure to use that URL so they know that I sent you. You can save hundreds of dollars right now. Go to simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com.
Have any of your friends recently posted tips on how to bypass Facebook? You've probably seen it at least a couple of times since the New Year's. That's when this post started going viral. It claims to have a whole new news feed, and they're now seeing posts from people that they haven't seen in years. And all you need to do is copy and paste the message into your page, and Facebook's evil algorithm that only lets you see a few select people's posts will be defeated. Obviously, don't do this. It's a hoax. The truth is, Facebook doesn't limit the number of friends' posts that you can see. We went through this around this time last year. Snopes even debunked the theory that Facebook only lets you see about 25 friends' posts. So who knows what drives people to start spreading fake news and posts like this, but it's just annoying more than anything else.
If it seems like only a few years ago that pagers, VHS tapes, and floppy disks were everywhere, you are clearly not a millennial. Millennials are the people born between the early 1980s and 2004. That puts them between the ages of 15 and 35. To them, you're positively ancient if you remember using a rotary dial telephone. And even though many items on our list were in wide use when they were born, technology changes so rapidly, millennials can't identify music cassettes or CDs. Show them a floppy disk, and it's a complete blank. And the VHS tape, so common that most of us just consider them a permanent fact of life. But the most mysterious product is the VHS tape. They just don't get it. But one tech item they will recognize is the vinyl record and a turntable because of the DJs at parties.
By now, I'm sure you've seen a few self-driving cars out on the streets. Companies like Uber, Waymo, and Google have been testing them in bigger cities for a couple of years now. And despite all of their amazing potential, some Arizonans seem to hate the idea of self-driving cars, so much so that some of them are physically attacking these cars. According to the New York Times, there have been more than 20 incidents of vandalism against Waymo vehicles since 2017. Police have been getting all kinds of crazy reports like slashed tires, angry drivers trying to run autonomous vans off the road, and one guy even pulled a gun on a Waymo car. He was caught by police and told them that he despises and hates those cars. He also said he was angry about last year's incident in Arizona where an Uber car crashed into and killed a pedestrian. That might be where a lot of the anger comes from. People are worried that the technology isn't safe, but I do live and drive in Arizona, and I can assure you that human drivers are a much bigger worry than any self-driving cars ever were.
Hey, more tech news from Commando.com is coming up in a moment. We're talking about the 5G revolution. Everybody's talking about it. When's it coming? Most importantly, will you need a new iPhone for it? And later on, I've got the inside scoop on how you can stay in touch with your family and friends during an emergency, or say, even during a family vacation. It's actually pretty simple if you have the right apps. And right now, a quick thank you to our amazing partners who help make this podcast possible. There's been a lot of talk about 5G. As compared to 4G LTE, 5G is 20 times faster. You can download a full HD movie in less than 10 seconds. Sounds great, doesn't it? The next wave of fast data rates is coming this year, but you better start saving now. You'll probably have to retire your current device, even that new $1,000 iPhone. An exception is the Moto Z3. It's a 4G phone. It's already available. Next year, you can buy a 5G Moto Mod to add on to the phone. But smartphones are just a small piece of the 5G revolution. The real future is connecting our world together. Self-driving cars could talk to each other, making them safer. Augmented reality glasses could give us a new way of looking at the world around us. So hang on for the ride. If you're looking for a way to track the location of your family members or just share the location with someone else, these apps will let you do just that. Now, I'm not talking about spying on anyone. I'm talking about using tech so you and your friends and your family, you can all connect during an emergency, or maybe while you're on vacation, or whatever you like to do with a group of people. So these apps share your location with your network. This way you can track each other in real time. This makes meeting up so much easier, and it's also safer because you're not distracted while you're driving, you're walking, you're riding, or whatever. All right, the first one I want to tell you about is called Glimpse. It's spelled G-L-Y-M-P-S-E. It works on Apple and Android, and it uses the phone's GPS. What I like about the app is you don't have to create an account. You just download it to your phone, there's no setup, you just start using it. So when I want to let my team know I'm on my way, I can send them a glimpse. That's what the app developers want you to call, by the way, a glimpse. I don't think it's going to catch on, but who knows? You can send a glimpse through text or email, and if they have the app, they can see me in real time. Now, if they don't have the app, Glimpse will open the map on their browser and then display my real-time location. What's cool about this is that the location sharing ends when I tell it to. I can say I want the glimpse to end once I arrive, or I can set a time, maybe 45 minutes from now. That way, the team isn't tracking my every move all day and all night, because that would be kind of creepy. Now, there is one step that you need to take whenever you use an app that tracks your location. Make sure that you head into your phone's general settings, and you want to double check and be sure that it's set to track your location only when you're using the app, because a lot of these apps, well, they're going to track you all the time. Now, the next one isn't as anonymous as Glimpse. It's called Live 360. And it's a free app mainly for families, so parents can obviously use it to keep track of the kids. And that's how the app developers bill it, an app to keep track of your family. But anyone can use it. Now, you do have to have an account at Live 360, so forget being anonymous, but it's a closed network, so only people you add to your circle can actually see you. Now, remember what I said just a few seconds ago about setting up your location permissions to only while using any app? Well, Live 360 requires you to always allow the app to use your location. It won't work if you set location services to only while using the app. Trust me, I tried to trick it, but the developers closed that hole. Now, it also wants access to your motion and fitness activity. I guess so that this way they know when you might be using the app. This seems to be optional, so you can toggle it off. But not only do parents use Live 360 to track their kids, but the kids can use it to track their parents. Now, I read a story about a daughter who uses it to track her father, who's a truck driver. The app lets her know where he is all the time, so she knows he's safe on the road. I mean, it's kind of sweet. Now, Live 360 has a nifty feature that adds things to your map, so you can find hospitals, the fire department, police station, and get this, registered crime and sex offenders, if you want to add that too. All right, we have one more location sharing app, but let me tell you, it's not really an app. It's a feature that's built into an app that most of our listeners probably already have. Google Maps has a free location sharing option right under the main menu. Super easy to use. Like Glimpse, you can also set a time limit for how long you want to share your location, and then you can cancel the location sharing. So if you want to let someone know where you're located, Google Maps will send you your location through email, text, or the app. You can also use Google Maps to request someone else's location. All three of these apps are really terrific. I'm America's Digital Pro, Kim Commando, and now you're up to date. And I'm sure you want to learn more. So listen to my other podcasts or let them come to you in the free Commando.com app, which you can get at iTunes and Google Play. Just search for KOMANDO on your favorite podcast player. And join me this weekend for my national radio show. I answer your questions about everything digital, and I'm sure you have at least a few. For the station nearest you, head over to Commando.com/radio. That's KOMANDO.com/radio.